Hey guys, before we get started, we want to shout out all of our awesome partners, including Hicks Chiks, Trinity Medical, Gregg Vet, Magnolia Bluff Casino, Weeks Furniture, and all of the awesome partners that you see on the screen right now. Make sure to do business with them, and we hope you enjoy the show. Hey guys, Ronnie Calhoun here with Miss Lou Champion Spotlight. We're here for the 19th, I think, episode of Champion Sports Talk with my man, Joey Martin. How are you?
I'm good, brother. Always good to be here.
Oh, man. As always, we're driven by Sango GMC, and we're coming live from Magnolia Bluff Casino, the Playmaker Sportsbook Lounge here. Beautiful place. I've caught several football games over here throughout the year. Great place, great food. Always fun to be here.
It is. You're right.
We're going to jump into some local stuff here in just a second, but real quick, just wanted to say shout out to Jessica Anderson out there recovering with her health issue down in Baton Rouge. We're thinking about you, Jessica. Hang in there. We're all thinking about you and praying for you. Tracy Bennett right here at Magnolia Bluff Casino, they have a fishing tournament for her this Sunday. So you can go to my personal Facebook page. I've got some stuff on there that I shared. Or you can follow Lance Bird on Facebook, and he's got some stuff on there. And he's the one putting it on, but it's to help them recover from the fire and everything. So, and then also just want to say we're thinking about all of our military guys over there. Torrance has shouted me out this past week and asked me about Watson and asked me how the family was doing from the whole Watson thing and all that, and checking on Watson's brother, which is nice. So, those guys are over there protecting us, and it's, it's sweet of them to be thinking about my family during this time. And so we're grateful for that. Just always want to get the show started. Like we always say, we talk sports, but we're also a human being show. So let's go ahead and dive in. You got anything you want to add to that? Or
No, I mean,
still thinking about your family?
I appreciate that. I just wanted to say me and Tim both have a bounty out on the Kansas City player who was offsides and made us miss our bet. So,
goodness.
Got a bounty out, or either Draymond Green's going out.
Yeah. Just put Draymond on it. He'll be fine. Apparently, Draymond has lost his mind. He just punches everybody. It's got to be kind of a cool life, though. You just get mad and punch people, right? Not the way to handle things, kids.
No.
All right, so let's dive into some local sports.
Okay, we've got a bunch there. We'll start off with the ACCS soccer team defeating Park Lane 4-3. That was a Division II South game, and Damian Johnson did a great job in goal. Cathedral High soccer team, they're struggling a bit, but Dennis Hogue always does a great job with them. Very, very young. Delta Charter soccer team, both of them, the boys and girls, play in the winter at the same time, and they both had big wins over Bolton 5-0, and great job by them. It's good to see because they're young as well. Getting into basketball, Grayson Gay, that Cathedral's boys team, 15 points as they defeated WCCA 52-45 last week. And congratulations to our man Taylor Strahan, picked up his 100th win as in their win over at WCCA. Okay. Kinsley Young had 16 points, 23 rebounds. What a night.
Who was that?
Kinsley Young.
Okay.
She had a great night. Go to Natchez High boys. They beat Port Gibson 48-41 Tuesday. Good job by them. Actually, Port Gibson has a kid who's a Dandy Dozen player.
Oh, wow.
And Ron Ellis said they did a good job against him. But leading Ronald Ellis Jr. had 17 points, William Johnson 13. The Lady Bulldogs lost 60-56. But they're still both having great years there. Girls are 8-3, boys are 9-2. The girls were led by Renee Ellis, the other Ellis, with 20 points. Faith Gunner had 16.
Okay. Yeah, both of those teams are having good years so far.
And the shocker of the year for me so far, Delta Charter boys, who have just struggled all year, they upset Oak Grove Monday night,
wow.
60-57. Tuesday night. It was the first win ever by a Delta Charter sports team over Oak Grove. So, huge win for them. The girls did not have as much luck. They lost 67-8. Oak Grove girls had, there's a girl named Caroline Bradley, 6'6". She's a freshman, and she can handle the ball. She's unreal. But
yeah, and I remember them saying that those girls were real young over there too.
Yeah,
Delta Charter.
Yeah, they're all 8th graders and freshmen.
Yeah, that's it.
That's
You're gonna take some on the chin when it's all 8th graders and freshmen. So.
Exactly.
But you learn a lot in the process.
That's right. Monterey High swept a pair of games from Georgetown Tuesday. Great games. A boys game went in overtime, 75-71. Jack Magoon had a career high 34 points, 7 rebounds. Tylen Blount had 15 before he fouled out. Sam Geemer at 14 before he fouled out. So quite an effort by Eric Richard's team. The Lady Wolves won.
Is Patrick Ewing still over at Georgetown? Is that a different one? Is that a different Georgetown?
I think he's still there. The Lady Wolves defeated Georgetown 45-26. So Addie Lacaz, 20 points, 3 points away from the 1,000-point career.
Oh, so by the time
she will do that tonight.
Yeah, okay.
They play tonight, so against Forest. So
okay.
Good luck to them there. Macy Green added 13. Bedelia swept a pair of games at Tensas Tuesday. The boys won 61-42. Okay. They outscored them 37-17 second half. Amari Lewis Juice had 20 points. Mark Perkins, who's having a heck of a year, had 16. Lady Vikings 48-34 winners. Lyric Warner had 16 points. Mackenzie Watson, Ella Grace Smith, who's really come on, had 8 points each. So congratulations to them.
I used to call Mark Eddie Murphy because he was always wanting to be a comedian. So I'm glad to say I started laughing when you said his name. He cracks me up all the time. He would always come into class with something in 7th and 8th grade. So I'd be like, sit down, Eddie Murphy. Those are some good kids, good young men. They're turning into really good athletes and great young men.
For sure. Faraday High boys went 2-0 in the Doré tournament this past weekend. Defeated Homer 50-36. Mike Kelly's really come on. He's and of course BB Terrell. He started 4 freshmen and a sophomore in that game. So look out down the road for Faraday. We also had Delta Charter boys and girls both beat Bolton in soccer action as well, saying 5-0. Damian Johnson, great job, and not Damian Johnson, but they got a sophomore. She does a great job, Olivia Hedrick, and she started as an 8th grader. She really does great. So good luck to them as well. I think that's just about wraps everything up locally and TV good luck for our teams.
Yeah, we've got a. Speaking of local ball, we've got an awesome guest on the show waiting on us over here that we'll get to here shortly. Mr. Andrew Beesley.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about baseball and his family and who knows what else. Yeah, so we'll take a super quick break and then we'll get Andrew on the show and who knows where we'll get with that.
Right.
All right, see y'all in just a second.
Hey y'all, it's Shannon and Ronnie with Miss Lou Champion Spotlight.
And we want to tell you about our awesome partners, Weeks Furniture.
Weeks Furniture has a friendly professional sales staff and they're family owned.
Weeks Furniture carries Ashley, Liberty, Craftmaster, and many other top brands.
They showcase a variety of living rooms, dining rooms, bedrooms, home office, kids' bedrooms, home decor, and more.
They offer free local delivery, financing is available, and they will meet or beat any competitor's pricing.
Come see why Weeks Furniture has been serving the Miss Lou for almost 60 years.
Hey guys, Ronnie Calhoun here with Miss Lou Champion Spotlight. I want to tell you about our awesome partners, J.E. Hicks Distributing Company, also known as Hicks Chiks. Hicks Chiks is a local, family-owned food distribution company that has been serving the Miss Lou since 1945. You already know they serve all of your favorite restaurants, but did you know they are also open to the public? Hicks has a variety of food products, including delicious heat and eat options like chicken and dumplings, white bean chicken chili, lasagna, and gumbo. They also carry a wide variety of seafood options like shrimp, crabs, tuna steaks, salmon, and catfish. And don't forget about their famous TNT burgers that are already pattied up for you and their amazing dessert options. So go see the awesome team at Hicks Chiks at 1380 Martin Luther King Jr. Drive in Natchez. Hicks Chiks, way more than just chicken.
Welcome to your new hospital, Trinity Medical. Located in Faraday, Trinity Medical is the only acute care facility in the Tri-Parish area. Here you will find an active pursuit of holistic health, a strong, honest group of clinicians, and a consciousness of others that transcends the 80,000 square feet committed to you and your loved ones. Trinity Medical. People you know, caring for people you love.
Hey guys, Ronnie Calhoun here with Miss Lou Champion Spotlight. We're out at our awesome partners, Gregg Veterinary Clinic, and we are in the back in the Barkley Pet Hotel and Spa. I'm standing in the Magnolia Bell Suite, which is one of 5 elite boarding suites available to your 4-legged furry friends when you travel this summer. Each suite comes with a private bed, flat screen TV, 24/7 video monitoring, and a sliding door so your pet feels like they're home. They provide one-on-one walking and activities in a fenced-in private backyard. So call Gregg Vet Hospital today and request your pet suite at the Barkley Pet Hotel and Spa. They'll leave the light on for you. Call Gregg Veterinary Hospital today.
My name is Yvonne Ivory. I'm the lab director here at Trinity Medical. I have 40 years of medical laboratory experience.
Hello, my name is Mary Cubic. I am Trinity Medical Outpatient Specialist, and I've been doing this for over 40 years.
Our lab offers numerous services. We have an exceptional outpatient department. We provide phlebotomies and venipunctures for tests requested by physicians. Trinity Lab has the newest, most innovative equipment for specimen processing, yielding quick turnaround times for results. Doctors are able to diagnose and treat patients in a timely manner for faster healing. Our newest addition is our in-house microbiology department.
Hi, I'm Fayla Giddon, and I am the lead microbiology tech here at Trinity Medical. I have over 24 years of experience, and this is our brand new microbiology department. So if the doctors suspect infection, that's where we bring the cultures back here. We set them up on different types of media, depending on what type of culture it is. So if we have some growth, it'll be something like this. So we do some offline tests where we determine if it's gram positive, gram negative, and then we're able to set it up on our machines, and it's able to tell us the organism. It gives us an ID, and it also gives us a sensitivity, which shows the doctor what drug will treat the patient and kill the organism.
Here at Trinity, we are committed to providing excellent patient care and services to promote the healing of our patients and our community.
All right, guys, we are back with Champion Sports Talk, and we got our man, Mr. Andrew Beesley, in the house. How are you?
I'm glad to be here. I'm doing good.
Appreciate you coming out.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, appreciate you coming out, man. I know I've ever since I moved back into town, I've kind of got to know your family and heard stories, and I know Joey's covered you guys forever. So just kind of fun to get you in. We had your dad in. I know this is our 19th episode, so he's around number 12.
In September, I think y'all had that in September.
He did a good job. So
so
pressure's on.
I got to one up him.
Pressure's on, man. I mean, it's I know y'all's family might be a little competitive.
Oh, very much.
Yeah, we'll give you
A little competitive.
Very.
Gregg would always tell me that when he was coaching, took over for your grandfather, that he and Ken Jr. would come home and he'd be sitting at the table, and your grandfather be sitting there with the salt and the pepper and the ketchup,
Yeah.
going over every situation.
Oh, there's no doubt. I can see it right now. I can see it right now.
Why don't we start? What I'll do is I'll pitch it over to Joey in just a second. But why don't we start by? I think most of our viewers probably know you guys and know your family, but tell us a little bit of your lineage as far as your coaching. Was it your grandfather?
So my grandfather was the first baseball coach at Cathedral.
Okay.
And then he coached for, I think it was 30 some odd years.
Yeah.
You know, and then Dad came along. I think he came in 95-ish.
Okay.
And 7 years later, he took over as head coach as the second one. And then coached all the way up till 2022. And then I took over. So last year was my first year as head coach.
So you guys are literally the only
Only baseball
okay.
coaches.
I didn't know that
Yeah.
either. Okay. Wow. No pressure.
No pressure at all. Yeah. See, Dad won state in his first year. His first year as head coach, I think it was in 2004. He won state.
Did he remind you of it?
Oh yeah, I knew. He didn't have to remind me. I knew all along. And I was like, last year I was begging for it to happen, you know, because I didn't want to let him down, you know. But we made a good run at it last year.
Yeah.
Just came up a little short.
Yeah. Okay, I just kind of wanted to set the scene as far as
Yeah.
the family stuff, just for any viewers out there who may not know. Joey, you want to get the ball rolling?
Yeah, I want to go back, first of all, talking about your ULM days. I mean, you were 2 straight years, preseason all. So
Preseason, all Sun Belt, and then I ended up getting all Sun Belt Conference my junior year.
Right.
And then senior year, COVID hit and kind of shut it down. I was preseason going into my senior year, and then COVID hit and shut it down. And we went back the next year and got preseason that year, but didn't have as good of a year after COVID.
How much does that put a little more pressure on you when you?
I like it.
Okay.
I've always liked the attention and the standards being set high for me, you know, because it kind of makes me work harder and be like, all right, I have some, you know, I got to live up to this. You know, I like that feeling, and you know, it was a pretty cool honor.
Absolutely. And you started out at Southwest.
Started out at Southwest Community College my freshman year, coming out of high school.
And do you tell kids maybe in the same kind of circumstance that you were in, go JUCO, you
Yes.
get more playing time.
All the time, especially with the transfer portal the way it is nowadays. Junior college is about as good as it's going to get coming out of high school a lot of times. And you go up there and you got somewhere to play right away. And if you can put numbers up in junior college, people will find you.
Right.
You know?
Whereas you may be sitting on the bench at
Yeah.
college.
So why not go somewhere that you can play and then transfer out of?
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about your. Let's go back a little bit before those days. Let's talk a little bit about. Did you play at Cathedral?
I played at Cathedral. I started playing on the high school team in 8th grade. I moved up, and I didn't get much playing time as an 8th grader, but I learned a lot of things. And, you know, I was a backup role player, pinch runner type guy. And then coming in as a 9th grader, that was my first year to start second base.
So you started 4 years.
Started 4 years. I didn't hit very well as a 9th grader. I wasn't physically developed enough, but I could play defense pretty good, and that's what, you know, found me a spot on the field. And then 10th grade is when it all started rolling. I took over as shortstop. Probably hit, you know, mid 300s as a 10th grader. Had a good year, and we ended up going to state my 10th grade year. And we got beat by, Smithfield. We got beat by Smithfield.
That's who beat the football team in the state.
Yeah, and we got beat by Smithfield, and probably shouldn't have. We beat the number 1 team in the state in our class in South State, in Stringer. They had a kid throwing, I think he was 92, 93, and we had no business beating them. And we ended up beating them in a 3-game series and had to turn around 2 days later and play the state championship and couldn't throw our number 1.
Do you think you guys? You think it was more of that, or do you think it was
that had
you guys got overconfident, or
that had a lot?
Throw your number 1.
Not being able to throw our number 1 had a lot to do with it, and I think we were a little, you know, satisfied with making it finally.
Yeah.
And we kind of took that for granted, and then coming back the next year was the year that I really kind of started, you know, developing. I ended up hitting
junior year.
Yeah, my junior year. I ended up hitting about 500 that year. And we went back to state, played Smithfield again, and swept them. And I think we beat them 13-1 that year. And I mean, it wasn't even close.
So it was no taking it for granted that year.
No. When we got there, we knew what was expected of us then.
That was a business trip.
Yeah, that was a business trip. We were not there just happy being there. We were there.
He's being unsurprisingly humble. He was MVP in 2016. Y'all went 24-5. As a junior, you hit 476, most valuable hitter. So yeah, he had a great.
Yeah,
trip.
I had a pretty good junior year.
So, sorry, Craig. Was your dad harder on you than everybody else?
I would say so, but he did a good job with it. You know, I never thought he treated me too different from everybody else. You know, I knew he was my coach, and that's kind of how we went about it. It wasn't really a father-son relationship on the field. It was, I'm in charge, you know, and that's how it's going to be, you know.
Yeah, and you respected that.
Yeah, and I mean, I've learned so much from him throughout the years, between him and my grandfather, just being around two great coaches my whole life. And growing up, before I even started playing, you know, coming out of school, I was at practice every day. You know, I practiced with the high school since I was about 7.
You're one of those kids that just never knew any different.
No, that was my life. I wouldn't get home till about 6:30 every night. You know, but that was where I really learned a lot of stuff, just watching those two coach together and stuff like that.
Well, how was your recruiting process? When did that begin? Was that your junior year?
So junior year, state championship, I got MVP for the state championship, and that was when I started getting a few interests from Co-Lin and Southwest. And I actually, coming out of high school, I had one offer.
Wow. And
Yeah.
that was Southwest?
Southwest. And I took it. I did sign a little early, probably. I could have probably waited and got a little bit better offer, but I liked what they offered me at the time, and you know, I just wanted a chance to play, a chance to prove myself. And so I jumped on.
Yeah, and plus I think there's that loyalty thing too, like the people that believed in you.
Yeah, that was a big thing with me. Is like they wanted me.
They believed in
this
me.
whole time.
Obviously, if LSU comes calling, you make business decisions. But I mean, I'm big on that. You know, I'm like, if somebody really wants me, and they were the first to see.
Yeah, and they were coming to games and showing the interest and stuff like that.
Yeah, I get that.
And that's what Dwayne Taylor was telling us about when he was here at Alcorn. I asked him, do you go after kids who are probably going to bigger schools? Yeah, because if they later on decide to transfer, hey, remember we came after you.
Yeah, I remember you.
Yeah.
There's no doubt.
Yeah.
But at Hines, you were the MVP.
Yeah, so I had a pretty good freshman year, and things just didn't work out at Southwest. It's the best way I could put it.
So I want to ask you about that. Of course, Southwest did not want to release you. Is that when you started seeing the business side?
Yeah, so I went in my exit meeting. It was right after our final game. We got back from a bus trip. It was like 11 o'clock at night in my exit meeting. And they were telling me, you know, like, hey, this is our plan for you for next year and stuff like that. And I said, well, I'm just going to cut you off real quick. I'm not coming back.
So you played a year.
I played a year.
Yeah, okay.
And I had decided about probably 4 weeks of the season left that I was done. I was not going to play there, or I was just going to hang it up.
Yeah. And
the coach looked at me dead in the face and said, well, you'll never play baseball again because I'm not releasing at Southwest. You know?
Wow.
And I said, well, we'll find out. But he's like, I can promise you this, you'll never play against me a day in your life. You're done if you leave here. I said, all right. So we went all summer fighting that, trying to get released, and it took all the way up to 1 week left in the summer. And they finally got it released. I had to go to the dean of the school and all that stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a big ordeal. And Dad was not too happy with me, you know, because my baseball career was pretty much over, and I was just kind of starting to make a name for myself.
Yeah.
And finally got released, and I went on 2 visits after that, and Hines just felt like the perfect fit for me, and that's where I went. Actually, Sam Temple, the coach at Hines, my visit consisted of sitting at a table just like this, and he threw a book at me, and it was on a page, and I opened it up, and it was all the people he sent to Division I schools. He said, quote unquote, he said, if you're scared to be around a bunch of dudes like this, don't come here. I was like, all right, I'll be here.
Yeah.
You know?
I need to
You're not,
be there.
Yeah, that's exactly how that went. So,
yeah.
And you couldn't have asked for a better guy than Michael Federico.
No, I love playing under Coach Fed.
So you went to Hines for 1 year.
I went to Hines for 1 year, and that's where things really started to flourish for me.
Okay.
I couldn't tell you the numbers, but I did really well. Got MVP, first team all conference, all that kind of stuff. And I think leaving out of there, so my freshman year I had 1 offer. Sophomore year I had 2. or going into sophomore year, I had
Yeah.
2, which was Hines and Co-Lin. And then coming out of sophomore year, I had like 24 Division I offers. So,
Wow.
yeah, things really started to turn around for me.
And then that's when we go to ULM, right?
Yeah. So I had some bigger offers than ULM, but ULM just felt like the perfect fit for me. I got family in Monroe.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my aunt and uncle own one of the biggest restaurants in Monroe, right there on campus.
Yeah.
And
You-
then,
Yeah, I want to,
yeah,
because you hit
Old
476 at Hines.
yeah,
8 home runs.
Yeah,
And was the MVP there.
yeah, I had a pretty good year that
Your,
year.
your trophy case must look pretty good.
Yeah, I don't even know where they're at anymore. They're probably in my parents.
will,
They're
ain't
probably
you?
in my parents' house.
I'm
If I had to guess.
I heard his recruiting was waterfront gift cards. They were like,
Well, I had that part of my family there. My sister was going to school there at the time, so it just kind of felt
Makes
like,
sense.
yeah, and my family could come to all the games and stuff like that. And knowing my mom, like,
I'm glad you mentioned Taylor. She always gets left
yeah,
out.
Taylor always gets left out. It's okay. It's okay, but I'll mention it.
I
But
said it's okay. Don't worry about
yeah,
it.
if you know my mom, she's gonna be there, and she's
Yeah.
gonna be the loudest person in the stands. She's gonna be my biggest critic, but my biggest fan at the same time. That type of person, and she's just an ultra
Which
competitor.
reminds me of the funniest story when Brett Henson was helping.
Oh yeah, I know exactly what you're about to say.
At Cathedral.
So I was playing there.
And Brett comes down to Craig. He says, Coach, I don't know how to tell you this. Some of that crazy lady at the fence is saying all kind of stuff, saying what to do. And Craig walked down there. That's my wife.
Yep. She would. Yeah, it didn't matter whose kid it was. She would get on them.
Who's tougher, your mom or your dad?
My mom.
Your mom?
My mom. I'm telling you, something about those Grannies and Junkins.
Your dad's tough up until he gets to your mom, and then
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
Okay.
my dad understands, like, when I was playing, he understood, like, the pressure and stuff like that. Mom doesn't care. She don't care. This is what you're supposed to do, and this is how you're supposed to do it. I mean, you could hit a line drive straight at somebody, and she's going to tell you, well, you should have been a little earlier. That's just the type of person she is.
Yeah, that's awesome.
She was a heck of a softball
I,
coach.
I always say champion standards, and
Yeah, I mean, she.
your mom's got champion
I think
standards.
She
there's
does.
no doubt.
She does.
There's no doubt. She expects the best every time you step on that field.
So I want to ask you about, you mentioned COVID. We've talked to, people and heard a lot of stories, but haven't really talked to anybody who had to go through it as an athlete. What was that like?
So
Good question.
the way I remember it best, we were off to a really good start. I think we were 13-4 that year, and that was supposed to be the year that ULM turned the table because we had a really good recruiting class that year. We go down to McNeese State for a weekend series, take 2 out of 3 from them, and I broke my ankle. I stole second, sliding in the second, broke my ankle. We come back for a midweek series against Ole Miss at home, and it was a 2-game series, and we played them really close one game and ended up losing. The next day we come into the locker room, turn the TV on, and ESPN's on us talking about this COVID thing, and we had heard about it, but we were like, what's COVID? Because at the time,
Sure.
we weren't really worried about it, to be honest with you. 2 days later, we had a meeting with Federico, and he was like, we're having to send everybody home for 2 weeks. We'll all report back here in 2 weeks, and the season will continue. We went home that day and didn't come back for like 6 months.
Yeah.
And the team was completely different. Half the kids that I was brought in with, in my recruiting class, were gone. Never talked to them again. It was a crazy time.
Wow. So it just went from. So you never even played that second game against Ole Miss?
No, we got to play the second one.
Played the
and
second,
the day after the
and
second
then after that.
And then after that, it was over.
Hey, so you guys at practice
Yep.
or never.
We were
again?
about to get on a bus to go to Arkansas Little Rock for start conference play, and it just shut down.
I'll tell you what, I remember saying they're not. I mean, I remember talking about they may shut down a game or this and that. One of the NBA games or something they postponed.
Yeah.
And I said, there's no way. Somebody mentioned maybe canceling the season. I said, there's no way. There's too much money involved.
Yeah, we didn't think there was any way possible
I was
that
like,
could happen.
there's too much logistics, too much money. About a week later, they were like canceling the NBA season. I was like, oh my goodness, this is real.
We're sitting at home watching it, and we're like, now I really might never play baseball. That's what it came down to. And I was very close to not going back that next year, and ended up going back, and that's when things kind of got rough for me, you know, throughout college. I think I broke my hand that year, tore my labrum, broke 2 vertebrae in my back. It was just a rough year.
And talking about your broken foot, y'all were playing Ole Miss. You can tell this story. And Federico comes up to you, tells you to put your cleats on.
Yeah, it was in the 8th or 9th inning. We were down by 1, and he's like, he comes to me, and I have a broke foot, and like a legitimately broke foot. And he gets the trainer, and they start ripping the cast off of me, and they're like, put your cleats on. I'm like, all right, like that's what I wanted. I wanted to play with the broke foot, and he's sitting there like, if we get this guy on, you're going into hit. And I was like, heck yeah, you know, like, put me in. I was like, I'll hit him, and that's just kind of the confidence I had at that time, and the mentality coming from my mom, because my mom's in the stands texting me like,
take that cast off.
Yeah, you'll be all right. You know?
And he told you not to run? Is that right?
He told me to make it to first base however you could, and then we'll get a pinch runner for you. And I was like, perfect. I was like, I can do it.
Yeah.
Yep. So that was
the guy.
He ended up not getting on, but I wish he would have. Just that would have been a cool.
Well,
situation.
you can walk today. It's great. So
yeah, barely. I still hurt every day.
Well, you were talking about your vertebrae as well, which leads to the other story. Y'all go to Alabama. You have to lay down. And
every bus trip my senior year, I had to lay in the middle of the bus, flat on the ground, because my back, if I sat up straight too long, it would be pretty bad.
Jamming.
Yeah, just compression on it and stuff like that. It was a rough year. You
know? Those buses, it's kind of like riding a bull for, you're supposed to ride it for 8 seconds, but it's like riding it for 4 hours.
I mean, we were going on like 14-hour trips.
Yeah.
And it was rough, but we made it work, you know.
Well, I'm sure the answer to this is going to be easy, but I kind of want to know your second pick. But of all the places you played, is Arlington?
Oh, Arlington's probably the nicest, no doubt. Nicest facility, because we were one of the first games in that stadium. Yeah, it just opened up that year. We were playing Oklahoma State and going there, and I think they were the number 6 team in the country or something like that at the time, and we ended up beating them pretty handily. That was a really cool stadium, but I love Mississippi State.
Oh.
That was one of the top tier stadiums I've ever been in.
Atmosphere and all.
Yeah, atmosphere and all, and then. You got Alex Box. We had them opening night, my first ever game, facing Zach Hess. That was a cool game. They ended up beating us. Antoine Duplantis hit a grand slam.
Wow.
With 2 strikes in the 8th inning to beat us. Yeah. So that was cool. And then Ole Miss in a weekend series, that was always cool. And then TCU was nice too.
Yeah.
We went to TCU, and they were top 5 in the country and took 2 or 3 from them that year. That was the COVID senior year. We came back. So.
Yeah, and just shame you didn't get to play in the new ULM park.
Yeah, I know. The year after I left, they've been talking about it since they were recruiting me.
Yeah, it's coming.
It's coming. And the year I leave, they get everything new. It's really nice, man. But it's a really cool little setup they got.
That's quite a bond. I'm sure you keep in touch with a lot of
guys. Yeah. I mean, some of my best friends for life are from ULM. Talk to them all the time and keep up with them. And actually, as crazy as it sounds, some of the kids that I played with are still playing at ULM.
Really?
Yeah, they came in as freshmen my senior year, and they're still there because they had COVID, medical red shirts and stuff like that. So I'm still keeping up with some of the guys. It's just cool to watch them succeed right now.
Any thoughts about what if I'd have tried minor league ball?
I mean, there was always that thought. But after all the injuries and stuff like that, it was kind of off the table for me. But if COVID wouldn't have happened, it'd have probably been something I would have done. I don't know if I'd ever made it to the bigs because, I mean, my arm, I'm honest about it. My arm wasn't the strongest, but I could hit. And that doesn't really play at the big leagues. You got to be able to play your position and stuff like that.
Well, and having the opportunity to come back and work with kids, and you get to see them come from kids to young men.
Yeah.
When you first get them, they really are kids.
Yeah.
When they leave, they're young men.
Yeah, they're very much kids. And it's cool to watch them from 9th grade proceed throughout the years. And we're finally starting to see the benefits of putting them in the weight room and really showing these kids what it takes to make it to the next level.
Yeah.
And you're starting to see how much they're growing throughout the years. And that's one of the biggest rewards to me.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah, I
seeing
remember
them.
your dad telling me, I think Andrew wants to get into teaching and coaching. I'm trying to talk him out of it.
He tried. So, and I can see why. You know, sometimes it's very frustrating dealing with high school kids because you never know what you're going to get out of a high school kid. You know, they're going through so much at that time. And their brains aren't fully developed, and they're thinking about all kind of things. But, you know, the kids
and the money. Let's face it, the
Yeah.
money as well.
Yeah, and I mean, I can say this though: these kids that I have at Cathedral are probably some of the hardest working kids I've ever been around. Cause I've put them through things that you couldn't imagine, and some of my assistant coaches have put them through things that I guarantee you there's not many high schools around here that are doing it. And every challenge I've put up to them, they took it head on and just run with it.
I'm sure those guys know your story, and they probably look up to you. And
yeah, I mean, that might have something to do with it, but
they trust you.
Yeah,
is what I'm saying. The proof is there.
Yeah, and I mean, just showing them what it takes, and every day showing up and setting a standard of this is how we're going to do things.
Yeah.
You know, and whether you like it or not, you're either going to do it this way or you're not going to be a part of the thing.
Yeah.
You know, it's just that simple, and those kids love that, and I really think they like working hard and seeing the benefits of it and seeing themselves grow every day.
So what was the biggest adjustment to becoming a high school coach? Did you have to kind of tone down, or?
Well, Dad kind of tried to put a little bit of a leash on me because I'm a very feisty, competitive guy, you know, and I don't like losing at all. But I mean, just toning down a little bit, but still pushing those kids to their full potential. And then once those kids realize that, you know, I'm not yelling at them as much. Listen to what I'm saying, not how I'm saying. You know?
Tough love.
Yeah, tough love. Like, if I wasn't yelling, this is what I tell them all the time. If I'm not getting on you about doing something wrong, then I obviously don't care about you. You know?
Yeah.
I want you to do the best thing for yourself.
You know their potential.
Yeah, I know what they can do. Mm-hmm. And, you know, if you work hard and you follow these steps, you know, there's a chance that you could make something of yourself.
I think Coach Hoffpower, the former Vidalia coach, is giving classes now on how to keep a good level temper during baseball games.
Yeah. So he was coaching when I was like real young. And I remember those games.
He's been through those classes.
Yeah, I think he's giving those classes now. Coach was a great guy.
We will get you on.
But what about let's kind of switch gears and talk a little bit about the baseball team. I know baseball is baseball, but there's some strategy involved and stuff. Would you say that you kind of have the same style coach as your dad and maybe grandfather, or is there a different style?
You know, it's more of just adjusting to what you have every year. And I would say Dad did a great job of that when he was a coach, and my grandfather did too. Yeah, I'm not one of those guys that every kid has to swing the bat the same way.
Yeah.
Or every kid's meant to do this. But, you know, coming off of last year, we were more of a power hitting team. Our mound, we could really throw it on the mound. We had a good pitching staff. Ended up graduating those three guys, you know, and we basically had 3 number ones last year on the mound. And
comes in handy.
Yeah, losing those 3 guys is going to be tough, but I feel like this year we're going to be more of not a small ball team, but we'll put the ball in play a little more than we did last year. Yeah. And pitching, we're just going to have to kind of piece together with our rotation. We're going to be really young on the mound, but it's kind of exciting seeing these young kids developing, and I think we got some young athletes over there that will end up being something one day.
What can we expect from this team? I mean, is it a young team?
It's a very young team. So our infield, we had a freshman at third last year in Walker Probst. I think he made 2 errors. He took over about the 5th game of the year, and we just couldn't take him out the lineup after that.
Adam can probably help you with keeping a level head, too.
Yeah. But Walker took over at third, and I think he finished the year with 2 errors. So, you know, that's what I'm expecting out of him this year, is to step right back into that role. And then T. Fondren at shortstop, who was a freshman last year also, who is a really good athlete. He's kind of developed physically this year, and I'm hoping his bat will come along a little more this year with the physical development part. But we know his glove's always going to play. And then at second base, we're expecting right now a junior in Landon French, who has a really good glove. He's just a high IQ baseball guy. And I expect big things out of him. He's a hard worker, and he's put on some weight. He's been in the weight room really good. You can start to tell he's starting to develop physically a little more. And then first base is kind of open this year, but we picked up a kid from Delta Charter, and Ethan Keith, and he's going to be kind of a utility guy for us. And he'll probably play first, from third to catching. When Walker pitches, he's going to have to play third.
Good guy to have on your team.
Yeah, when Owen Jordan pitches, he's going to have to catch. And they're going to have to pitch a good bit for us this year. So he's going to be kind of bouncing around in roles. And he seems to be a really good kid and a hard worker.
Yeah.
And then we'll have Owen Jordan behind the plate, who's another sophomore, and he'll be pitching for us a lot too. So the whole infield is going to be freshmen to juniors.
Wow.
Yeah, so we won't have a single senior. Well, I say that. We got Hayden Cotton, who came out this year. He didn't play last year because he messed his knees up in football. But, he's a big, strong kid, and I'm starting to see that he can swing the bat a little bit, so he might find a spot on there too. But in the outfield, it'll be a little older group. You'll have Jackson Navarro, who played second for us last year. He's going to be moving to the outfield this year, most likely.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'll have Josh Ingram, who's another senior.
Yep.
And he came along strong last year.
Yeah.
He is definitely one of the hardest workers. He has put on some weight, and I expect some really big things out of him this year.
And we're thinking about just throwing this. We're thinking about Jan and I over there going through a lot right now. So, great kid, great family.
Yeah,
so,
no doubt. Just a hard worker, and you're starting to see that hard work pay off for him.
Yeah, and then you've got Right.
It's kind of a toss-up right now. We got some younger guys that might take that spot over, but they're still kind of battling it out. It's tough right now because right now we're practicing on a softball field because Liberty's not ready yet. So and we're not sure when it's going to be ready yet. So
that infield looked immaculate.
Oh, it's nice, but
I rolled by the other day. I'm like, wow.
It's very nice, but like our first time to be on a real field might be opening night.
Wow.
It's a scary thought to think of, but we're going to do everything in our power to have them as ready as we can.
So where are y'all practicing at?
The softball field right now.
That's where I used to practice for your dad.
Yeah, we got bases lined out. I had the tape measure out the other day.
For your grandfather.
Yeah, I had the tape measure out the other day trying to line it off and get it as close to realistic as I could.
Yeah, I was one of the guys who had to run down for the foul balls and went way down in that little.
Oh, yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about.
What makes Cathedral such a? I mean, I know it's home to your family.
Yeah.
Joey, you went to school there, right? I'm a Vidalia kid, and I've got so many great friends from Cathedral and stuff. But what makes Cathedral such a great place?
Well, it's just a very tight-knit group at Cathedral, and it always has been. It's family-oriented, and we really believe in taking what we have there and making those kids the best that they can be. We're going to take your kid and turn him into a man. Like, that's kind of my thought process on it. And when you give your kid to us at Cathedral, you're going to get him back better than what you gave him to us. That's the best way I can explain.
Yeah, that's a great sales pitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's right. It's the family atmosphere.
Yeah, there's no doubt.
Yeah, and I mean, every now and then you'll have a bad apple that comes out of there, but I mean, it's
every now and then.
Every now and then a Joey slips through.
You got to keep it interesting.
That's right. Joe, I know you got I'm going to pass it over to you because I know you got
just one more question. Just your thoughts. Would you like to see the season pushed back? Because, February, the weather's horrible.
I would like to see football season pushed back, too.
Amen. Yeah.
But definitely baseball. I wish we'd start maybe a little later in February, but February 6th is early.
Yeah.
And it's cold. And the kids are really just coming off of basketball season, so a lot of kids' arms aren't in shape.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, you're going sport. As soon as they get done with football, it's basketball.
Yeah.
As soon as basketball's over, it's baseball.
So what were some of the worst conditions you played in?
Oh, Lord. We played a game against Southeastern at ULM. It was 23 degrees, but it was the game we beat them. They ended up forfeiting the game in the middle of it. We hit 2 grand slams. I hit one and Danny DeSimone in the same inning.
Wow.
I think we beat them 28-3.
Wow.
Yeah, and I think it was in 4 innings. Yeah, it was a blowout, but that was probably one of the coldest, brutal games. Oh, it was. And then we went up to App State, and we had 3 different weather delays, different types.
Really?
We had a rain delay. They had a whole turf field, but it was in a mountain. We had a rain delay, a fog delay, and a lightning delay. Yeah.
How long that take?
It was forever. And went up there, and then our bus broke down on the mountain. And the App State kids had to drive us back. And I'll never forget it. I was like, I'm not getting in the truck with him. It's like, because we had been kind of running our mouth a little bit.
Oh, wow.
I was like, I'll ride in the bed. I was like, I'm not getting up there with him.
Talking a bunch of smack, and then
Yeah.
like, hey man, you mind giving
Yeah.
me?
All my buddies are like hopping in the truck with him. I'm like, I'm not riding with him.
I was just playing earlier about
Like,
it.
I walked down this mountain before I get in this truck with him. I
That's
lost
awesome.
your mind.
That's awesome.
Bunch of mountain guys. Like,
Yeah. All the way up to Beesley, Boone, North Carolina.
True hillbillies. Like,
Yeah. It's like, I've lost your mind.
y'all start.
I think I'm about to get in the truck with these boys.
Yeah. Y'all start hearing the music. Jump out.
Got a banjo back here.
If you hear the banjo picking, jump out. Get out of here.
This doesn't go to Appalachian.
No.
It'll be all right.
Yeah, that's right. Now I think Tate, if I'm not mistaken, I think my buddy Tate Hobdy, did he go to Appalachian? He
I
went,
think he did.
I think he went to Appalachian. So, and then I think Ed Daly may have went. He went somewhere over there, maybe. So we may get a little.
That was
pushback, but,
probably the worst luck. That place, I still to this day think that place is cursed because that's where I tore my labrum.
Wow.
Yeah, that's where those 3 rain delays, our bus broke down. I mean, it was just.
And you made a new friend.
Yeah, well, side story to that. The inning before I tore my labrum, I almost got thrown out of that game. Yeah. So a kid hit a home run off my buddy. I was rounding first, and he started running his mouth. And I left my position. And there's a picture of me and him on the third base line. I had stopped him coming home, and Federico lost. I'm talking about benches cleared, all that good stuff. Federico had me in the dugout up against the wall, like losing it. And then all the team like walks the other end afterwards, and he's like, I didn't say I didn't like it. That's what it's like, I looked at it, I said, that's what I thought, Coach.
That's awesome.
But the next inning, I ended up tearing my labrum. So if they would have thrown me out,
if the umpire would have been doing
if he had just thrown me out,
that's
I'd have
right.
never tore my labrum.
Federico's son was quarterback of the football team and actually tried out for Team USA.
Yeah, and he almost made it.
Final cut.
Yeah.
And there was, he may have missed the first part of that. And you watch Monroe football, I think.
Yeah.
He almost had to miss part of it.
Yeah.
Starting quarterback.
That kid is something special.
That's what I hear.
Yeah, he's special. He used to practice with us when he would be in like 9th grade with and I would call home all the time. I'd be like, Dad, you got to see this kid.
That's
cool.
Yeah, I think your dad was talking about that whenever he would say that you would talk about him. And
Yeah, he is something special, and you can tell, like, just the way he carries himself out there. That he's confident in his abilities, but he's a humble kid, too, at the same time. So I'm really excited to see what he does in his future.
I talk to kids a lot about body language, and I use Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant for examples. And I'm like, if I flew in from Mars and landed in the middle of a basketball, or I did, but I'm saying if I flew in the middle of a basketball game, I just landed in the middle of a cornfield.
All the places you could.
Exactly. But I said, if I didn't know anything about basketball and I watch all these guys walking the court, I would know Michael Jordan was the best guy on the team.
Yeah, it's just how
the way he carries himself.
You can tell great athletes.
Yeah, there's a certain swag.
Yeah.
You got to be able to back it up.
Yeah, if you can back it up, but it's all about how you carry yourself.
Yeah,
and you can honestly in high school you can beat other teams by your kids carrying themselves like that.
Yeah,
just by taking in and out.
So who was your favorite ball player?
Growing up, Chipper Jones.
Okay.
Chipper Jones was my guy. Atlanta
Those
Braves.
Braves teams were some fun teams to watch.
There's no doubt. And now it's Austin Riley.
Okay.
Big Austin Riley fan. So my roommate at Hines and ULM was best friends with Austin Riley.
Wow.
Yeah, they went to DeSoto Central together. They graduated together.
Oh, that's cool.
So I'm pretty sure if I remember correctly, he had his first home run in that first game he got called up. And we were on FaceTime with him after the game.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's
It's just cool experiences like that.
Do you have a few minutes to stick around? 'Cause we always like to talk a little college, and I got some stuff I'd like to get your thoughts on.
Yeah, I can stick around.
We'll just skip the commercial, and we'll just keep going, man. If that's all right with you.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay with me
we got
too, man.
waters right here.
I'm right here.
I'm enjoying it.
We got plenty of waters for you. I think
Dustin's not paying attention.
with the I think I'd like to get your thoughts, since this is another thing, like you had a unique perspective from COVID, and we've all got thoughts on the transfer portal and NIL, but I think you playing so recently, what if you had to draw it up, what would transfer portal look like and what would NIL look like?
Transfer portal, a kid would get one transfer, in my opinion.
No matter, just
One
no questions asked?
No, until he graduates and maybe a grad transfer. But I think, as a freshman, you can go somewhere and realize you screwed up real quick, and realize, hey, the coach might even tell you, like, this isn't the right fit, and you get that transfer. But these kids that are going somewhere and transferring out every year just because they have a good year, it's really not fair to the smaller programs and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And I think one transfer would be good, but after that,
One transfer, we don't ask you any questions. You
Yeah.
just say, I want to transfer,
Yeah.
and that's
it.
That's
Yeah.
what you would.
That's what I would do.
And then,
first.
as a grad, you
Because,
transfer again. if
I
you
mean, you see it now. It really, there's no team bonding or
No.
things.
No, it's bad.
It's not. It's all about me and not we.
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know?
You're seeing it in real time. I mean,
Yeah,
these teams
it's
are just
crazy.
yeah. So, what about your NIL thoughts?
I like it a little bit, but you're going to run into issues with it. There's no doubt, because once again, the team and the me and we, you got a kid getting paid $1 million, and then a kid that's not getting paid anything.
How do you
Yeah.
think that would have played in your locker room if one of your guys was getting paid?
Well, ULM's locker room was probably a little different than most, but there would have been a lot of fights. I can tell you that. There would have been a lot of
So
fights.
you think that's a real thing?
Yeah, I mean, there's no jealousy is going to happen with that. There's no doubt in my mind. And it's just, I don't see it really being fair that certain kids are getting this and certain kids are getting that. Even though this kid might perform better than you, you're coming in as an equal opportunity, and
So what do you think about guys who opt out for the bowls?
that's the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life.
I agree.
If that was my teammate, I would be livid.
Yeah.
Because we're all out here trying to. That might be one kid's opportunity to get seen by an NFL scout, and your quarterback opts out, and now you're not getting the ball. Like that ain't how.
Yeah.
You signed up for this. When you signed your scholarship, you're here to play every game that you're physically capable of playing.
Yeah.
And if you're going to sit out on me, that just kind of tells me what.
Yeah, I was shocked with the Texas backup quarterback.
Yeah, he just transferred out, or he's transferring out before the playoffs.
Right.
I mean,
And it's like, dude, you're one play away.
Yeah,
from
one play
playing-
away.
But from what I was reading, I read that it kind of put the NCAA kind of put him in a bad position because
The window. Yeah.
he has to get out before if he suits up or if he's on the sideline after the new year, it kills his whatever.
And I go back and look at it when Mississippi State won the World Series, what was that, 3 or 4 years ago in baseball? They had a kid that hit the walk-off hit against Texas, and he played against me my whole life. Went to, I want to say Central Hines. He was a shortstop, and they had brought in a shortstop that year. I think it was Lane Forsythe that took his spot, and he got one pinch hit at bat in the World Series and hit a walk-off.
Yeah. Remember that forever.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you that kid worked all year hoping for that chance, and when he got it, it paid off. And now you got kids, I don't start in the first couple of weeks, I'm gone. Like there's something to be said for those kids that will stick around and earn something.
We have a lack of grit
Yeah.
Well,
in today's society.
Everybody wants things now.
Yeah,
they don't
instant
want to earn it.
gratification.
and Andrew, I would bet that 80% or more would regret that decision later.
Oh, yeah, because they're going to go somewhere and probably end up in the same position.
Well, kind of the untold story about the transfer portal. It sounds great and all that, but the sort of the dark side of it is people go into this transfer portal. A lot of them never come back out.
Yeah.
I mean, the transfer portal is full of people
Yeah.
who thought the grass was greener, and then they get bogged down, and they're like, "Oh, I don't really have a home now."
Well, think about it. You're the number 2 quarterback on the team. You're one play away from being the starting quarterback. and you enter the transfer portal, and now you're the number like 1,000 quarterback.
Yeah.
You know, because everybody's you know,
Yeah.
you just
Sure.
made your list to compete with.
And you're competing
so
with
much longer.
incoming freshmen.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a big fan on it. Reason being, mainly because it doesn't build that team chemistry and earning things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
So
makes-
now we see how loyal you were.
Yeah.
I think you just said it a while ago. I mean, it's me versus we.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You come from a place of, hey, this is us against the world.
Yeah.
Whatever, you know.
And I mean, even going back to high school, like those kids that I played with, those are my best friends to this day.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like I couldn't imagine if I was that guy and I had like this big offer and we're in the state championship and I'm like,
Yeah.
nah, I'm gonna sit out because I'm going to play college ball. Like,
Yeah.
if I break my leg out here and lose my offer, it is what it is.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
It is. You know, it
Yeah.
just wasn't meant to be.
Exactly.
But I'm gonna give you everything I got.
So I guess the last question, as far as and then we gotta let you out of here because I know you gotta get back to school.
Yeah, you gotta get back to school. You can talk to me as long as you want.
You go a long way.
Yeah.
I was just curious as your thoughts on the playoffs and did they get it right? Did they get it wrong? What do you think?
They got it. I mean, in my opinion, they got it right if you want the 4 best teams. There's no doubt. But I don't think it should be a 4-team playoff. The 4-team playoff screws everything up, in my opinion.
Do you think? Okay, so let me ask you that. Do you think it should be the 4 best teams, or do you think it should be the 4 most deserving teams?
That's the tricky question because, I mean, if you get into it, now you're saying, all right, you ask Florida State to win the ACC.
Ask them to win every game they play.
Go undefeated. And they
Yeah.
do all that. But then how are you going to keep Alabama and Georgia out? That's the two. I mean, in all honesty, Georgia's probably the best team in
Because
college
if you
football.
really put the 4 best teams,
Yeah.
put Georgia in there.
Yeah, I mean, Georgia's probably the best team in
Yeah.
college football.
And if Florida State beats Georgia, they have every right in the world
Yeah,
to say, hey,
yeah. But I mean, I feel for those kids at Florida State
Yeah.
because I would be really ticked off too if
Yeah.
I did everything you asked of me and didn't make it.
Yeah.
But at
Yeah.
the same time,
it's
Florida-
ratings. It's all
Yeah,
about
I
ratings
mean,
and money.
TCU screwed them last year.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
that's what happened. Bottom line,
Right.
Yeah.
make it to the national championship and found out what
Yeah.
Georgia's about. You know,
So what? Before we get out, what are your what's the playoff predictions? Who do you think is going to win each game, and then who do you think is going to win it all?
Alabama or Michigan's going to win it all. Whoever wins that one's going to win it all.
Yeah, that's your championship.
yeah, that's your
You're
chance. Whoever wins that game is winning the whole.
You don't think Texas has a shot?
They'll make it. They're going to win the first one, I think, and then they're going to run in. It's hard to beat the same team twice.
Especially a Saban team.
Yep, it's hard to beat the same team twice. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
And I think, I mean, with Saban, he's just got that.
The
He got that magic
the
about it,
Saban
man.
factor. Yeah.
Yep. But
Yeah.
I think it's going to be Alabama. I mean,
That's right.
that's what I think.
Think
It's
that-
either going to be Alabama or Michigan. That's my opinion on it.
Think Alabama's going to take it all though?
I do.
Yeah, I do.
I think Alabama's going to take it all. They're getting hot at the right time, and you can kind of tell.
And Saban, of course, is going to play that disrespected card. They saying we shouldn't be here.
Yep.
That's
He's
right.
got all the bulletin board
Yeah, that's
material
right.
he needs.
Joey, you got anything else for
That's
him
it.
before we let him
Hey,
know?
how many tournaments you playing in this year?
We got one tournament at Southwest Community College over spring break.
Oh, well, that'd be fun.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Get to go back there, but
Yeah.
it's a new coaching staff
Okay.
now. So they,
Appalachian
they
guys
act-
not gonna
yeah,
be there either.
yeah, they actually invited us back.
That's awesome. Who's
Yeah.
else is in it?
We'll be playing Brookhaven Academy, but it's a bunch of teams in it. It's just a one game type tournament. It's not a round robin type thing.
Well, good. That'd be
Yeah.
fun.
I wish we could get the Vidalia tournament back
I
on,
know.
but you know, with the rules and all that stuff, they won't
yeah.
let us play them. So,
Yep.
but that would be a cool little tournament to put back on.
Well, they need to.
And with the turf field at Liberty, you know, we might start in the future hosting a tournament over there.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bring some revenue into town.
That's
yeah,
right.
no
That's
doubt.
what it's all about. Well, Andrew, I appreciate you, man.
Man, thank y'all for having me. I enjoyed
yeah,
it. I
I
really
think-
enjoyed it. It's always
Look,
fun to talk
I'm
to
not going to say who's better. I'm going to stay out of it. But, you know, you and your dad have to go home and have a discussion on who.
We'll have them on the TV
who
side by
had the better
side.
episode.
Just let mom.
Sounds like mom's the judge.
Mom will definitely decide.
And I'm pretty sure you're going to have the advantage because
Yeah.
you're her baby.
Oh, there ain't no
So,
doubt.
yeah,
There ain't no
you're going to
doubt.
have the built-in advantage.
And I hate you missed the NIL because that Wardos would have looked good on your jersey.
Oh,
Yeah.
there ain't no doubt. I'd have waterfront right there.
We appreciate it, man. And we'll be right back in just a second with a little bit more from Champion Sports Talk.
Tis the season to win our 40 grand dashing into cash and $10,000 New Year New Money grand prize. It's time to unwrap over $70,000 in winnings. It's always a good time. Visit MagnoliaBluffsCasino.com.
All right, guys, we are back with Champion Sports Talk, and we are here with Amy Mathis to talk about some exciting December promotions here at Magnolia Bluffs Casino. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming in. You got to follow up. Andrew, that was just on here. I don't know if you saw him. He did a good job for us. So no pressure, but you know. How are you?
I'm good. I'm great.
Good. What'll we? Looks like we got some things here that's coming up in December. It's gonna be a fun December, huh?
It is a fun December. Currently, we've been doing our Dashing for Cash. 2 winners win every hour from 6 to 10 on Fridays and Saturdays in December. They have a chance to win up to $500 in cash, and that's split between cash and free play.
Okay.
Coming up, we have our Frosty the Dough Man.
Frosty the Dough Man.
Who
I
came up
like
with
that.
that? That's
I
pretty
like
cool.
that.
Probably Rachel,
Okay.
or maybe Amy and.
We'll have to shout out our partners Rolling in the Dough for that one.
Yes.
Frosty the Dough Man. I like that.
So that drawing is going to be December the 29th and the 30th. We're going to have little snowmen piggy banks. 4 winners will get to choose every hour from 6 to 10, and they will have a chance to win up to $500 in cash.
Okay.
So that's going to be a real fun promotion. And of course, we're very excited about New Year's Eve.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, so New Year's Eve, we have 3 winners every hour. At 12:30 a.m., we're going to give away $2,024 in cash to one winner.
Wow.
Yes, that's going to be a fun night.
Tim know about this?
Yes, Tim knows.
All right.
And on New Year's Day, we're actually going to give away $5,000 in cash at 7 p.m.
Oh, my goodness.
To one lucky winner.
That's awesome.
Wow, that's a lot of money.
It is a lot
Yeah.
of money, so we're looking forward to it. It's going to be a very fun event.
Yeah.
Live music as well. That would be a lot of fun.
Yes, live music. We're going to have 3 different bands.
Yeah,
Just don't ask me the name because I can't
I
remember.
think you guys have bands on the 29th, 30th, and 31st,
Yes.
if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. And they're all good bands. I know 2 of them I've heard before, and the other one I've heard is very good.
Yes.
So, yeah. So, what I always say before I let you out of here is I always give people to just from the heart, because this isn't anything that we've talked about. What would you say to people out there that maybe haven't been down to Magnolia Bluff Casino or haven't been in a while? I've actually got several friends that are like, I haven't been since before COVID, and now they're starting to come down a lot, and they're like, man, I really like it down there. So what would you say to anybody out there about coming down and being a part of this?
I'll tell them come down, give us a try. Things are new, things are different. It's always a good time here at Magnolia Bluff Casino.
That's right. Great team. Great team and a couple of really good-looking guys on the front of the desk right here, too. So,
Yes.
that's self-proclaimed.
Martians.
Oh, goodness. Well, we appreciate you coming out. And, yeah, I mean, you guys, there's a lot going on in December, so we appreciate you guys and appreciate you coming out. And we'll see you soon.
Hi.
We'll,
Thank y'all for having
we'll
me.
be right back after this quick break.
Tis the season to win our 40 grand dashing into cash and $10,000 New Year New Money grand prize. It's time to unwrap over $70,000 in winnings. It's always a good time. Visit MagnoliaBluffsCasino.com.
All right, guys, we are back. More Champion Sports Talk with our buddy Tim Morrissey, and we are here for our Take It to the Bank segment. How are you, man?
Doing well. How are you?
Doing well.
Sorry about all you people broke out there.
Look, we just
I blame it on the Chiefs.
we just had Amy on the show a second ago, and she was telling me about all this happening in December, talking about all this cash given away, and I said, does Tim know about this?
Might have to check the notes.
I said, that's a lot of cash going out in December. So just wanted to make sure that she said he approved it. I said,
If she said so,
I said he approved. So I said, that's a lot of cash going out in December.
it's gonna be good. It's still got a lot of stuff going on for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
Looking forward to New Year's Eve.
That's right. That's right. we want to say real quick before we get started on our picks. We were down here Tuesday evening.
That's right.
And Joe, you probably saw the picture. No. This was actually not the VIP room on this one. Over there by the band stage, and Tim and the team here gave 2 checks out for $20,000 each. One to the Humane Society, and one to the Stupite.
That's awesome.
And those are both. I know Tim's a humble guy, but those are both. They're huge donations, and those are both organizations that are near and dear to Tim and to his wife Michelle. So I just want to say thank you for that before we get started.
Absolutely. You know, I just the lucky guy that gets to represent our property and the ownership group. But you know, as we talked about on Tuesday, all of that's made possible, you know, one by our amazing team here and the amazing community that comes in and keeps this place going every day. And then, you know, I'm just lucky enough to have an ownership group that, you know, wants to be part of the community. And even though, you know, they may be based in upstate New York, it's important to them that, you know, we are active members of the community. And, you know, they called me a couple weeks ago and said, hey, it's that time of the year. Let's find some people that we can help out and give back to. And, you know, we're just honored to do it.
Yeah, and Brian's basically one of us now. He came out and hung out and went to an LSU game. I mean,
that's right.
He's basically a Southerner.
I think he's looking at making a trip in January or February.
Awesome.
It's fun having him here.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm looking at our picks this week, and I was updating this week, and I said, oh, no, Tim caught me. You were one game behind me. Joey and I both went 0-2 last week, and you went 1-1. So you and I are both 13, 15, and 1.
If the Chiefs would have...
That's what I'm saying.
Man, these Chiefs fans been wearing me out all week. And Joey, we're both 13, 15, and 1, and Joey's 14, 13, and 2.
So you're saying there's a chance.
So you're saying there's a chance. That's right. We're right there. You know, if Joey has another bad week, no pressure. We could catch him right here. Let's start out with our college pick. Even though there's not many to choose from, and it's bowl games, I think that makes it more exciting.
Yeah.
So, you want to go first, Joey?
You know, I just realized who I picked. Talk about ironic. I've got Appalachian State. Sorry, Andrew. Minus the 6.5.
Looking mighty cute over there. Okay, so you got Appalachian State minus 6.5. Okay. All right, and I'm going to go with Texas Tech Red Raiders, 3-point favorites over Cal Berkeley. I just like I don't even know why I'm gonna do like some of my girlfriends or something. Whenever you're younger and you're like, who do you think's gonna win? They just pick the best uniform or whatever it is. That's what I'm gonna go with. I like the Texas Tech. I like their cowboy stuff, so I'm gonna go with them in the bowl game.
All right. You know, I was looking at Appalachian State pretty hard. I had 2 games circled on my page. Not sure which way I was going to lean, but in the interest of trying to catch Joey and get ahead of Ronnie, I think I've got to pick different than Joey. So the other game I had circled, I'm going to take the dog in UL Lafayette +3 against Jackson State. I think that game is being played down in New Orleans, if I'm right.
That's right.
So, you know, kind of close.
Yeah.
UL Lafayette's done a pretty good job of keeping games close all year. You know, at least close to the spread. So that's where we're going.
Okay. All right. So we're locked in. Those are all pretty close. These bowl games games are hard to pick in general, but these bowl games are even more difficult because who knows who's even going to be playing. So, but it's all for fun. So, moving over to the NFL side of things, we're starting to get towards the end of the year, and I think the Cowboys. Somebody told me this morning we're 10-3. I think right now. So that leaves 4 games remaining, I believe, on the NFL schedule. So we're getting pretty close to playoff time. What do you have, Joey, on NFL game of the week?
When we were going to do 2, I liked Detroit, but I'm not going with them. I know that causes confusion. Sorry. But, you know, I'm going back with the Titans at home. I just think, you know, they play so much better at home.
Okay. The Titans at home. I've spent quite a few days in that field over in Nashville, right across the Cumberland. So you got Joey. So you're taking the Titans.
Yes.
Minus 2.5. Okay. I'm gonna go with the Ravens. They're playing the Jaguars. They're on the road against the Jags, and the Ravens are 3.5-point favorites. I don't know. I think the Ravens are starting to. I don't know. They got a pretty scary little team this year, so I'm gonna go with them at 3.5-point favorites.
All right. Well, I'm glad that Joey decided to not go with the Lions because that's who I had circled. So I'm going to go with the Lions -4 at home in Detroit against the Denver Broncos, who have struggled repeatedly. But every time I bet against them, they punish me. So hopefully that won't be a repeat this week.
And hopefully nobody's offsides.
Yeah.
Well, the two things that I see here, the Broncos have been playing pretty well. They've put it together. But the Lions took one on the chin from the Bears last week, so they will be looking to bounce back.
Right.
So,
Home, yeah.
so we got them locked in, and now for the best part of the week here, man. What do we have here? We got wings.
Yes, we have buffalo wings with French fries, and then Joey has the barbecue wings with French fries.
Buffalo wings here, French fries.
Man, I know what I'm having for lunch today.
What'd you get? Barbecue.
Barbecue.
And then Dustin what did Dustin
Lemon
get?
pepper.
Lemon pepper. Okay. What are the choices down here?
Yeah, buffalo.
Barbecue. Lemon pepper.
Sweet heat.
Sweet heat. Southern fried.
Comes with a waffle, but you can substitute with fries.
Okay, comes with a waffle, but you could substitute with fries. Okay.
Our version of chicken and waffles.
Man, I'm smelling this right now.
Smells delicious.
Delicious.
And that was Amy Tizer, our sous chef, giving you the rundown on the wings.
That's right. So, look, we gotta get out of here because these wings are calling my name.
Thank you.
But as always, we want to make sure to thank all of our awesome partners, including Concordia Sentinel, Magnolia Bluff Casino, all of our awesome partners out there. Without you guys, we can't do what we do. Thank you to all of our viewers because without you, we really can't do what we do.
Right. Remember, there's still time to get downtown and shop at the stores as well.
That's right. Local stores. That's right. Including Rise and Shine,
right.
Mile 363. So
if you're looking for men's clothes.
That's right. And so thank you to everybody out there. God bless. And as always,
have a champion day.
Shout out all of our awesome partners, including Hicks Chiks, Trinity Medical, Gregg Vet, Magnolia Bluff Casino, Weeks Furniture, and all of the awesome partners that you see on the screen right now.
Hi, it's Shannon with Miss Lou Champion Spotlight. If you like what we're doing, be sure to follow, like, share, and even comment on all our content. Also, visit MissLouChampions.com to sign up for our newsletter and to receive other information, as well as the opportunity to receive some awesome prizes. Thank you, Miss Lou, for your continued support, and as always, have a champion day.